So how is the oil market looking now? Is it oversupplied or actually does it feel right?
No, I think we're okay right now. We are quite optimistic with what's going on between the U.S. and China with the trade deal, and we see a lot of optimism in the market because there'll be growth in demand because of if China growth commences again, then that'll be good for the oil market.
Minister, are the current OPEC Plus cuts enough to avoid oversupply?
Yeah, for now, yes, they are enough to avoid oversupply. But we'll go back and review again in March, and if we see that there's a need to do further cuts, we'll be ready to do further cuts.
Do you think at this point, given what we're seeing, the cuts will have to be phased out, or we may have to impose extra cuts?
Well, we will have to see when we go to March. We will have time to review. If the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East region continue, then we will see that maybe there will be no need for any further cuts. But if things relax a little bit and we see that there is a downward trend, then we will definitely be ready to make deeper cuts.
Minister, talk to me a little bit about Nigeria and hitting its cuts target. Has it been difficult?
It was initially, but we've met our target now. I mean, last month we did exactly what our court stipulated, and we are ready to comply completely.
Okay, and are you complying now, or
no? We've complied. We've complied completely. Yeah, we've complied, and we're going to comply from now onwards. We will not have those issues anymore.
And Minister, why was it difficult at the start?
At the start, I mean, there were adjustment issues. I mean, because our budget was based on certain projections, and then in the middle of the budget, you said, "Oh, we have to make some cuts." We had to make some adjustments, but with this new budget, all those adjustments were already taken into consideration. That's why it's easier for us now. 2020.
Minister, are the oil markets a little bit strange? We had, the big hit on the Saudi facilities in 2019. Then we had what happened with the striking of General Soleimani, and the markets flared up a little bit, but then actually came back down really quickly.
Yeah, that was because the Saudis actually did a good job. They were able to get back their facilities repaired very quickly, and they didn't have force majeures. They were able to meet up with all their projection, all their cargoes. So there was no need for that was why the market actually didn't react that much, because the market wasn't really affected very badly. Yeah,
but we were talking about a possible, war in Iraq with Iran, and the markets kept quite cool. Is that a good thing, or does it mean that we're not pricing risk correctly?
I think the market is changing. That's what is clear to us now. OPEC is actually in the mood of really studying what the market is looking at these days, and that's why we'll go back in March and then look at all these issues, because a lot of issues that previously would have taken the market upwards really haven't moved the market these days. So a lot of new things are coming in because of what's happening also in the U.S. With shale. Yeah, I think they are able to always fill in that gap. So we're going to look at all that in March and then take our position.
Will the oil prices, stay in this range bound that we saw? I know I tried to get you an oil price, or I tried to get you to give me, your ideal oil price when we were in London last time. Yeah. I didn't get it. Will you give it to me today?
Well, we always say we would like it to be between the 60s and the upper 60s. I mean, maybe up to 70. That's where we always want it to be. OPEC has never really wanted oil prices to be overly raised, and we don't want it below certain levels.
If you look at the world economy, so U.S., China now, we have a phase one deal. Things are looking maybe a little bit smoother, but then you also have this transition towards more sustainability. If you look at 2020, where do the biggest risks to the oil markets come from?
I really, with the U.S. China deal, if we're able to really, if the U.S. and China are able to consummate a good deal at the end of the day, we expect that there'll be a demand growth, and we're not expecting too much problems in 2020. Of course, there will always be issues of geopolitical tensions, and you can't predict that really. It can happen anywhere right now, so we cannot say for now where I sit, we're expecting problems.
In geopolitical, would it be Iraq? I mean, they have 5 million barrels.
Yeah,
it's quite big.
Well, yeah, but you can't predict, because sometimes you expect that there'll be a problem. I mean, look at Libya is having to resolve their issues. Iraq, of course, we have tensions there, but you never really know how they are going to come together to resolve those issues. So for us in Nigeria, we've never really based our projections on what is going to happen geopolitically somewhere else. And we try to be as focused on the fundamentals as possible.
Yeah, a lot of the focus here is on sustainability, climate change. Does it impact the relationship you have with big oil companies?
No, I think climate change is not really a big issue for us. I mean, we have always said that in Nigeria, it's not really a race against renewables. It's actually a race against carbon emission. Mm-hmm. And for us, we are really moving towards gas this year as our solution. Yeah. And that's where we're going.